Dude, what do you think the chances is 3:35 right now? I am telling you, it trips me out how routines just create themselves. It's like, I don't understand. Like, it's so trippy. I don't know why that has stood out to me so much throughout this. I don't know, I guess throughout me being by myself and just seeing, like, even with the dogs, it's always like at the exact same time where Stella starts harassing me to go walk. It's always that everything, it just slides into a time slot throughout your day. You don't need a clock. Like, yeah, it's like you could, I mean, I don't know how to explain that. I do not know how to explain some of this stuff. It's like certain things, I can see it and totally understand, but it's like, fuck, how do you explain that? It's so hard to explain so much of this stuff, but it's like your day will open up to become the day you need. So you don't need this schedule. It's like the schedule is the distraction, just like the 3D is the distraction. It distracts you away from. I was thinking about this morning, or whenever I was awake, and I was thinking about how trippy it is, the 3D and what a distraction it is, and flesh and blood, and that more people now okay, this is getting heavy. More people are now catching on to aging, and aging is fake and dying's fake, but we die off because we don't know that for ourselves, and we believe what we're told, so we act it out, we play it out. And that's where we have to start realizing we have to set how it is we see things, because they've set it up so that we have this recycling thing. But like I've said before, it no matter what the dark does, the white figures out the light figures out balance, and you're of the light. So no matter how many things that people want to come up with, you are the light and you're in the dark, and you come as it's like a mastery. It's like I've said, it's like championship players. Like you're not a fuck around. You're a warrior. You are what you worship as a god. You are that. And it's just that they've, because they, yeah, this is their issues with God and stuff. But see, we come and we play this game. We come down and play it. And no matter, even the people who are all caught up, and they're going to suffer. Like, there's no doubt about it. They will go through their suffering. They will burn in their own hell, facing their darkness. It's not something that we need to do and, you're going to burn in hell forever. No, you will burn. No, you will you will eat yourself alive. And you have to pull yourself free from that. And I just had a good conversation with my mom yesterday. Oh yeah, I got to say about that. So anyways, it can keep you trapped, but you have to figure out how to pull yourself free. So it's you, everything is you, realizing you, but they keep you so distracted and they've got you so beat down that it's a difficult journey. But that's why, all this stuff is falling apart. It's to streamline the journey a little bit more. So, and there's some of us that who were on a different path through the whole thing. And so, that's what we can attest to. Like, the spirit shit is real. Like, it's not woo-woo or any of this other bullshit that they try and tell you. No, it's real. It's realer than these fucking spiritual people think. Like, these people don't even fucking have a clue what they're dealing with. I swear to God. I can't even believe. Some of the crazy shit that I keep hearing is just so mental. And it's all coming from this certain vibration. And they represent themselves a lot with strip flags, with blue hair, blue clothes, blue direction. They're very progressive and liberal. They're the ones who fill in the slots of, they're the witches, they're the astrologers, they're the life coach healers, all of that stuff. There's like a certain vibration, a certain tone that they're all riding. And I don't know. Like, I can just see it. And I'm not trying to say, shame on anybody who can't see it. I can just see it. And I've been able to see it the whole time. I've been able to see it for a long time. I mean, that was part of the motivation of me to start doing this, was all the misinformation I was hearing about spirituality. I was like, this is some bullshit. What the fuck are these people talking about? Like, god damn. And I swear to God, it has so much to do with ego and people. I swear to God, I don't think any of these people, maybe they've read like the Book of One and a couple of Dolores Cannon's books, and then they feel that they're experts or something. Like, I don't know where they get their inflation of thinking, because that was something to me when, like, I started studying this stuff back in, I would say it was like 1980 or 1981. Because I already had him talking to me all the time. I had already was turned against religion. And I would try and talk to my mom. And, but she would, it's just weird when I look back at the whole thing. Because, at some point they're over there playing Ouija. At some point we're practicing ESP. She was a certain person. This was something I tried to tell her yesterday too. But, I'm who I am is a reflection of her as well. It's not just me. I'm a reflection of her. And, but, we went on two different paths towards finding our peace of our spirit. But spirituality, or knowing I had a soul or something, was always something, and knowing the battle between the two sides was always obvious to me. The lies, because I knew religion was lying about stuff. The connection, I knew telepathy was real. I knew I was talking to other beings. I knew they were telling me things. And whether it's my higher self or whatever, we aren't from here. So our higher self is another being as far as we're concerned. And so I saw this cool like meme or something where it was something about your higher self, realizing it's yourself, realizing you're watching yourself, which realizes you're watching yourself, something like that. And had this person watching themselves sit on the couch, watching a TV, watching themselves on TV. It was a Simpsons thing that was used, I think. Or the dad, one of those shows, one of those cartoons. Anyways, I was like, that is really so cool. But that is, you do have somebody who's trying to communicate with you, who is of a higher mind. And they stay up in the higher mind, and they communicate to try and guide you through the game with your questions. But see, a lot of people don't ask questions. Instead, they go to the game for answers or other people. And that's how we have like a whole bunch of people who are just lost. Literally, this girl was just talking about back in the dark ages that they also, because they really, she was talking about a girl from somewhere over like by Japan or something, who had come into America, and then I think she was living there, and she was saying, it's so weird. You guys are so into your holidays, and are really, and so she was thinking about, and she had looked it up, and in the Stone Age, they were also really into holidays. And the keepers, they were always telling them, go out and celebrate, have fun, and stuff like that. Just like, this is what is pushed on the people, and the people become mindless and controlled. And so she was like, were we the peasants, and now we're still the peasants? It's like, yeah, there's so much stuff that is just repeating and repeating until the people, you got to pull yourself free. And each game is a new game. Just because you're trying to do it in this one, it doesn't mean you failed at other ones. Just because you're healing old wounds doesn't mean you ever failed. Like, if you were able to see yourself in your true form, you'd be impressed. Like, when you're looking up at the stars and you're seeing these colors and this, all that, that is, you are that. You are what you are impressed by. You have abilities and stuff, but they have like squashed you, because then they, just like in the day, like the day would fill how you filled it. Like it's Mary Poppins bag, but they get you to focus on a clock and get you to feel like, oh, I can't get that done. I can't get that done. How am I going to ever fit this in? And it becomes a time crunch. It becomes a stressor. But literally, whatever you were to put into your day, you can fill your day. And that was made clear to me. Remember, was it last summer? I don't know. This time is running into itself. But whenever I was at my mom's, remember, and I was talking about moving all that wood, and I said I'd gone this day, and then it got heated over Rapture, I think. And I was like, fuck, man, I got to find some project, get us out of this and into something else. And then I saw her wood out there, because your focus will pull. Yeah, it pulls you into the question, because the question was, what is the project? It pulled me in. I saw the wood. So I asked her, and then she was like, yeah, I really need to get all that wood moved into this wood shed. And she was telling me the whole thing, about this cooling down and stuff like that. And it was a fucking lot. And I was like, fuck, man. But I was like, oh, that's good exercise. And I had to go up her hill. She's a hill. Her driveway. It sucks. And I had to go and pull all this wood. I think I did like 3 cords or something crazy. And and I got it all done. And she couldn't even believe it. There might have been some left because we ran out of room. I don't remember. But anyways, I did a lot of wood, whatever it was. I sometimes I say numbers wrong, so I still have some issues with my brain. I still think I would have a problem keeping a job, even though it seems like I'm impressing myself with some of the stuff I can remember and repeat. And so I know, like I said, it heals, but it just goes in a different direction. You just got to keep working towards asking the questions. Asking the questions and stuff. Keep going towards where you want to go. Don't get caught up in where you don't want to go. Like, oh, I'm going to fail. I'm going to die. I'm going to, that will suck you down. My nose is stopped up. Or you got to pull yourself. And that was also in the conversation I had with my mom yesterday. That's trippy. Okay. So, this is a lot of tabs open. Okay. So, okay, let me just see. Because then I'm trying to put them together, but somehow they all go together because they all come open each other. So the people. So so your vibration is a lot higher than you think it is. This is an illusion in all senses. Because you think that, like, you look at some people and you think these people are soulless, these people are idiots, these people are evil, these people are this, these people are that. And it's a challenge. Like the blue people, this level of people is really challenging to be able to be like, oh, I love you. You're so great. When they're sitting there saying shit like, now they think that they need to sue Donald and all his minions. It's like, you guys don't even realize how outnumbered you are. I guess it's creepy. But so his minions, they need to sue him for mental stress. I'm not the only person who has been saying this, who is saying, you guys are acting like Donald is in the White House. Like, what in the fuck is going on? Like, you guys are actually, it's weird. It's so weird. And when I was noticing their way that they were saying shit, I was like, this is so fucking weird. Are these people mental? What is their reality? And I already said that, but now I'm seeing other people who are also saying they're acting like like Donald is the one in there. It's like, this is so weird. It's like we're just pretending like all this bullshit that this bitch ass is doing, we're just gonna, and it's got to get more and more absurd, like I said. So guess what? Not only are we going to pull everybody out and leave these people stranded in the winter with no shelters and stuff like that after they've lost everything, we are going to, and the ground's poison and everything. So we're not going to worry about any of that. Those people are on their own. But we are going to worry about the fucking Ukraine and the necessity of more weapons. And we have got to send over $457 billion today. So, yeah, that's shooting that over there, airmailing it. So they're going to get that over there as quick as possible, because it's important. And the laundry and stuff is just so absurd at this point. And how involved. I mean, oh yeah, this is another thing that's coming to the surface too. So all the states that do the cheating. So the Pennsylvania with their news coming out reporting that she already won. So they're on the hot seat. Then I guess there's a bunch more, and there's all sorts of shenanigans. I mean, here, like I said, I don't think I ever received my ballot. I mean, I'm pretty sure I never received it. I've only gotten those little papers telling me who. And I was like, that should have come a long while ago. But now I'm seeing other people saying, if you're registered red, then they would, they're not getting them. In other states, so I don't know about here. This was in another state I heard him saying, because she was like, I still haven't got mine. My mom still hasn't gotten hers. And all the people who are voting the other way all have theirs weeks ago. So there's still those shenanigans. But anyway, so they're watching these certain states because they already knew. And so at the same time, these states are getting on the hot seat for what they're doing. And they're even, I mean, he started a lawsuit even. Then she is coming out on the thing saying, you guys don't worry. We've got this. There's nothing. You guys don't need to worry at all. And so she's just like, put down your worries. We've won this. So it's like they're making it all so obvious. But, as annoying as it is they are just doing this stuff in our face, like Jill coming out as Panda. Like that, oh my God. And then him not even, maybe, if he would have come out as a tiger or something, they would have both come out as animals or something. Maybe it wouldn't have been as disgusting. But, they know what they're doing. They are trying to irritate us. But on a spiritual level, this is pushing us to grow in some way, grow in strength, grow in letting go of their bullshit, being able to see through it, The more you can see through it, the more it doesn't affect you. I mean, they are playing games. But the games, you got to remember, this is all on levels. What level you are on is your level. What you're battling is your battle on your level. And we're about to see a huge level up. We're about to see a bunch of people go into a level where they don't know how to play that. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because the universe is about to kick it up a notch. And so everybody's going to fall down on this new level. And they're going to be like, fuck, how do you go in this level? And that is where it's going to be a lot of people are going to be like, oh, don't worry. We've mastered this level. We'll tell you how to get through it. And, but the thing is when you're telling people, it's not by, this is what you need to do and I'm the expert. No, it's like, this is the way I walked. This is where I went. And it's not putting pressure on anybody. Everybody's got to follow their own breadcrumbs. Everybody's got to tune into themselves and start seeing what is it that they're here to learn and grow and stuff. So, and right now in this other spiritual thing is very in your face and you got to do this. You want to make it, you want to ascend, you got to give me $150 an hour and I will get you there. It's like, it's all this sell. It's a totally different energy. It says that, like, that's why we're going to step off of that. And all the people who are on that are on it because they're supposed to feel it when it falls. So the people who hold on to the things that tide us, it's because it's going to hurt them when it goes, because it's part of their lessons. And it's going to make us, feel bad for them and feel sorry. I have boogers coming out my nose. My nose is just, it's fucking still raining. Rain. Swear to God, as soon as you start feeling like, oh, I'm feeling a little better, I'm feeling better, here they come. It's like boom, 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 and it just doesn't fucking stop. Goddamn, all fucking however long. And because I'm sure the night is full of fog the whole time. I'm sure we're just tinted at night, just, and then the rain, let's make sure we get all that shit on them. It just rains, and then you just get like, sick of it. I'm so sick of it. One thing I really need to do is change change environments for just the moisture. I need to get some fucking dryer for a while. Dry myself out, like, fuck. So, anyways, let me think. Now this is coming into my head. So all I'm doing right now, I'm not doing any other things except for the black seed oil, which it is horrible tasting. I'm going through, I think, more than a bottle a month because I'm almost out of this one. So I bet you I'm doing like 2 bottles a month. That would be like $40 a month. And it is horrible tasting. And I have a squirter, like a squirter that comes on some of the other things. I put it on that oil, and then so it's squirt. When I put it out, and when I've squirted it before, like in Stella's dish, to see how much it is, then it's like a teaspoon or something a couple times a day, but I can totally tell the difference in my eyes, and it's drying up because the black seed oil, it also has the antimicrobial, antibacterial, all of those things, but it also dries up mucus. And even though, like, but, you know, when they keep hitting you and hitting you and hitting you, it's weird because it feels like dry, but it feels also like snot, like, yeah, maybe it's because, I don't know, the mucous membranes are getting damaged. I don't know. Everything is so artificially, we're being hit so artificial. It's got our bodies so out of whack. So, anyways, I can tell a difference. And I really am so positive that it is, so my eyes got damaged when my brain was getting sucked out. It was sucking my eyes out too. Oh God, that's so disgusting to think about. It damaged my optic nerve. Ugh. And when I think about it too, because I remember how the pain, it was unbearable. I fucking can't even tell you how much. Like, when you're talking to somebody who went through long, long labors and all natural childbirth, because I told everybody that was the worst pain I'd ever had in my whole life until this happened. And I've had a lot of pain things. Gallbladder thing. When I had the gallbladder thing, I thought that was the worst pain I ever had. That's why when they said, oh, we can take it out, I was like, okay, fuck, please. It was horrible how it would hurt. I had a lot of issues in my gut, which makes sense to me now because I was looking at even the scar or my birthmark yesterday when I was standing in the mirror, I think, or whatever day, maybe when I took a shower or something, I was standing in the mirror. I was like, because I could see it really good. And there is definitely like where my belly button is. And then it goes down a little, like right here. There's a place like where it would look like someone's holding a knife. Like you are standing there. I can see it in my head. It's like on the deck of this ship, walking up and somebody having a, you know, like pulling a knife and sticking it in your stomach, holding that sharpness right there. And you're arguing and trying to, I think that she or I, whoever I was or whoever I'm looking at, was, still tried to use manipulation. You know, like, oh, no, I wouldn't do that. No, and whatever. And then it was this person. That's weird. When I said this person, a certain husband popped into my mind. That is so trippy because we do have these repeat things in our lives. And you don't know all the different roles. That's weird. So, because then you start thinking about like that relationship. Like, how does that play off of this relationship? But it definitely would show the hostility of like, I don't fucking trust you, dude. So, because, oh, yeah, that's so trippy. Oh, yeah. He always had a thing too. He had to sit at the back of the movie theater. He could not sit with somebody behind him. It would freak him out. He would think they were going to get him from behind. Oh, that is so trippy. There was other lives too that have come into my mind. Like there are the people in your lives, you've had all sorts of storylines with them. But yeah, I had never seen that before. So anyways, but it's like holding a knife right there, like, you know, and then pulling back and going, so it looks like a stab, and then it pulled back, and then over on this side, it's like a stab and a rip. And so it's like, and I had gut problems my whole time since I was a little kid. Like I was constantly having to go to the hospital and stuff. There was always something weird going on. And I have, what I started to understand when I went through nursing school is that we have these little sphincters all through our body. Like we have these control mechanisms. And so in order to control a sphincter, it's got to have, yeah, it would have to do with minerals and stuff too. But it has to have the things to make it constrict and restrict and stuff. And that, see, these are the things they set off with all their medicines and stuff to set our bodies off. But anyways, once I started realizing that, and like your stomach has like a couple of sphincters and stuff, and then that's the problem with this one in mine where it was too loose, and that is why all this acid came up and burned up in my throat and burned my voice box. And which at this point now my voice has been so froggy for so long that it's like, and it gets better. It's always worse in the morning or through the day. I think it gets a little softer, but I don't know. The more I talk, I don't know. And I would think probably when we go in the med beds, and there's rumors going around that the med beds are up and people are being put in them. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's coming. It's like, I don't know, there's just so many people who are so excited and want all this stuff. And then there's misinformation, but it also gets us talking about it more, and being like, med beds are real, they're real. This is all happening. I saw a guy who was standing out there by Wall Street or something all yesterday, and he was saying it's going to crash. And there is some big plummet. So they're saying this Monday will be the bad Monday thing. We'll see. It plays right into what a lot of stuff was going on, because Donald had said even yesterday that he was going to make a big announcement. And so I was trying to see, because everybody's like, oh man, this is it. He's going to make a huge announcement. And then I just keep seeing more about the cheating and her saying, hey guys, don't worry, we got this. Don't worry one bit. And he tried, oh yeah, and there's Congress or something, one of those fuckers. Are saying that they are going to, no matter what, they're not letting him be inaugurated. They're going to make some new charge of, because he ever was charged, he's not allowed to ever hold office again. They're going to do some shenanigans, because it's all just to keep showing how corrupt they are. So, but it is a stressor when you're riding the movie ride, when you're on the ride of the movie part, feeling it. It's like, fuck, man, fuck. Because they've even gotten me on a couple of things like, fuck, man. Like, oh, God, this 4 years was hellacious enough. Oh, yeah, because then her coming out as a motherfucking panda, and the way he walked her out, it was so fucking sub-dom. It was so much like those people who are into furries and shit. That whole thing. And then it's not fucking bad enough that fucking fetishy bullshit. Then it is, the animal of choice, which is a complete whole, well, we will just call it folklore at this point, of when you, Orlando Bloom's talk, there's a lot of talk about it. So when you, and it was even on the Turkey News, if you've ever seen that clip, they did a whole thing about it. So when you, with a kid who's too small, like everything is smaller down there, so you do a lot of injury. So when they do that, I guess all depending on the man's size, then however much room it takes up in there, there's like Orlando Bloom said, there's something that you can hit into there, a nerve or something, and he said it turns people into some kind of animal. Probably it hurts so bad they start like throwing themselves around or something. And so that there is this thing, but when you do this, I think over too small and hitting into that thing or something, it causes them to get black eyes. So that's how bad it is. They start bleeding from the inside. Like, it's disgusting. I mean, it's so fucking, it's not from out here. It's from in the pressure. It's horrible. And that's what they do. Like, these people enjoy that kind of stuff. I don't, I can't even, I mean, I think most of us can't even stand to hear a baby cry. We can't stand here. Like, these people are weird, man. They're so fucking weird. Because it's not just these original, you know, the vamps. It is also these people who want to be like them. You know? Like, fucking the Diddles. He, I'm sure, is, you know, giving his share. And I'm sure Joe prancing out there, proud as can be. I'm sure the old Joe, he fucking, you know, gave a lot of kids some eyes like that. And then on top of it, for him to go out and start chewing on all the babies, which is still, I just can't even believe people still like, oh, he's just a little old man, a little old nice man. Okay, if that's just so fucking normal, then would you go up to like don't even consider like another person, like would you let any old fucking stranger come up and chew on your baby? But would you ever go up and chew on somebody else's baby? Some stranger, you know, oh God, your baby's cute, let me just chew on it a minute. Like, it's not normal behavior. And these people just make excuses. That's what they're enablers. They're enablers of fascism. That's the thing. They don't even realize. They don't realize that they're the Yazis. They think it's us. It's like the people over there that are talking about love and freedom. They're evil. It's like, it's weird. Like I said, it's like when the lights come on for these people, it is going to, the leveling up that is going to occur, that's going to push you to have to see, is going to be rough on a lot of people. I'm not just saying the blues, the libs, whatever, because it's a whole range of people. Because there's people in there who don't even spend any time on politics and stuff. It's a range of people. It's a vibration. It's like a whole group, and it's meant to be. It's not like they're making a mistake. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, or what they were always going to do. There's going to be a lot of people who don't like what they did and don't like what they're doing, and they're going to start being more mindful and taking more, because that's what it's all about, is you taking control of you. And they don't realize how much somebody else is in control of them. Just like that girl realizing, like, oh, the holidays are all distraction. Yeah, you catch on to this stuff as you're going through your healing. Is like, this is some bullshit. And then you start looking like some weirdo fuddy-duddy. You start looking like a prude. Like, there's so many women now who are freaking out about these bubble skirts. They're like, you guys wear what you want to wear, but when you're going to the mall and stuff, and we're out here with our kids, we don't need you guys walking around with your butts hanging out. It's like, look at how fetishy our world has become. Like, teenage girls thinking that they want to go out and show their butts, and people are saying that, you know, I guess they're wearing G-strings or something. They're saying you see more on these bubble skirts than you see on the beach. And I don't go out and go to the malls and go around all these young people, so I don't know. I see pictures, and they're just really short skirts, like cheerleader skirts or something. And it is, I don't know. I always feel like everything is becoming so fetish. And those of us who knew life in a different way, that we sound like we're prudes, and, you know, we just are trying to hold people back. People, it's freedom if people want to go out, but it's like, but it's really a lack of self-respect. It's like feeling like you need to show your butt for attention, because there's, you know, but the people doing it, they don't realize what they're doing, because they're on autopilot, because they are in their wounds, and they are trying to feed their wounds, or trying to make themselves feel better. So they're on autopilot, and they just have automatic responses. And so they think like, you know, well, when I go out and I wear shorts like this, all the guys always tell me, you know, hey baby, and honk, and, you know, I get a lot of attention. And see, a lot of attention makes people feel noticed, makes people feel seen, makes people feel like they're, you know, they look good. And then, so they just crave that, and they don't realize, like, it's abusive, it's disrespectful, and that what you really want is like purity. You want somebody who doesn't need to see your buns and all of that stuff. There's somebody who wants to know your mind, that wants to, but see, it's like this level, they're pulling down in this level of, you know, just wanting to be seen for this other thing. So it's that same thing with the Mary Poppins bag and the time and stuff. It's like what people pull, you're pulling down. It is. It's like the spiritual world. But see, it's all trickery. That's the thing. Because, and we're going to go in and experience this other way. So people will see. Like, there's this woman, I see her sometimes. And I think this is cool. And I think this is more the direction that we would be going. And so she's always sitting there with her son. The videos I've seen, 2 of them, I think. And it's obvious, you know, she's a, you know, a homesteader, hippie chick kind of woman. You know, she's got these dreads and no makeup and just simple clothes and stuff. And her son's got long hair. And so she does, I think it's kind of like, what is it? Is that called EMR? EDM, EMD, is that new thing about getting you out of your, they use these taps or something to reprogram your mind, kind of, I guess. And so people who get a lot trapped in their pain and suffering, and it really affects them with depression, anxiety and stuff. So they try and move them out of that using this EMDR or something like that. And a lot of people have had it. It's pretty, you know, in the mental health community, it's pretty common, I think, now. So anyways, I think that what this woman is doing is kind of like that. So her and both her son, they go on these places, and so it'll be like tapping here, and it'll be tapping here, and tapping here. And every place when they move to a new tapping thing, it's a different affirmation. And so it's all, I control my day. I control my day. I enjoy just different things. I can't remember them all, but I think that, and that's what I think will be more going towards when we are raising our kids and stuff. And I think a lot is going to change. I think it's already putting that out there, you know, about the schooling and stuff, because the schools is all, it hasn't been about education for a long time. And it will go back more to the little schoolhouse or something, you know, maybe tutors if people don't want. I think that communities will form groups, and probably there will be some communities that will, you know, there's a lot of people, teachers out there who would be looking for jobs, and that they will be able to find little schoolhouse jobs. And schools are going to get a lot smaller, not this militant, you know, they're like prisons, you know, it's like the prison system. I wouldn't surprise me if we found out, like, oh, some of these schools are owned by rich people. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Where's the money come from that builds these new stuff, you know? It's not our taxpayer money. That's going over to other places in the laundry system. All of our money has gone to the crown for a long fucking time. So it's, yeah, it's like they go and they build a school so that they can, but it's all the same kind of group of people. So they all will have the same kind of rules. So anyways, it's all a bunch of scheming and scamming and shit. So schooling things are going to change a lot. In the way, I think, and the expectation, you know, of what people, like, why do we need to know calculus? Like, if a kid really is into math, and really, you know, then go learn all the math you want. But the rest of us, we don't need to know all this shit. There's a lot of shit we don't all need to know. And they just say, oh, you got to know this, you got to know that. You're fucking all these kids up. They're putting kids out now who don't even know how to read and write. And they're putting them out into the world. And the schooling, the whole system is just shenanigans. And it's falling apart. So it's going to make a huge shift. And it's going to go smaller. All the things are going to go smaller. Communities are going to go smaller. Schooling is going to go smaller. Our rules are going to go smaller. Everything. It's not going to be. And see these liberal people. They're fighting to have federal control, and they're being manipulated to do it, and they don't realize it. Like, we don't want federal control. We don't even want state control. We want community. And that is so corrupt. We got enough cleaning up to do with that bullshit. It's gone so corrupt. And so it's all got to fall, and it all will. It's all going to fall. And there's all this talk still about his transition team. So that is going to be a big thing. And it's going to be a lot of exposing, I think. We got technology, we got military, we got medical. All of this is going to be a lot of exposing because, you know, like the RFK, he's taking on, you know, these people who, yeah, well, if you don't know who he's taking on, then you can look it up. It's all over the place. So he is taking on a certain group. I think Elon has made it clear who he's taking on. I think so. His team is a lot of that helping us through navigating through all the information coming. It'll be kind of like translators trying to help people comprehend as things move forward. And yeah, like right now, I think they're trying to build trust on the one side, because they're going to, the one side that is, oh, we got to sue him. I hate them. They're so horrible. They're so, like, it's literally creepy. Like, dude, this guy has not been in office for 4 years. You're aware of this, right? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so anyways, they're all, you know, really lost in this game, and they're all being very misled. And the shenanigans with the vamps trying to create an illusion of that we're outnumbered, but really when you pay attention in reality, you can see where the numbers lie. And the numbers are lying more and more with people who are leaning into freedom, because that is what we're doing as souls. They may not all be completely awake, but they know that they don't want to work like this. They know they don't want to be broke. They don't need the government. And then the government overstep right now is so extreme. Like this story that has hit, like, oh, it's so bad. This guy, I don't even know if I mentioned it yesterday, but it's already reached this other thing, which I'm just hoping it's just part of the show, because I still sing Anne Heche is alive somewhere. There's a lot of things, and we're going to see people come back from the dead. But so this guy is a rescue guy. And I don't know how, I think he got started by this squirrel. So he found baby squirrel 7 years ago, went out and started and brought it home, took care of it, and then saw it couldn't get released back into the wild. It just wanted to stay with him. And he has a wife or a girlfriend or something. So they started taking care of the squirrel. Once internet started being, I think he started making the squirrel have a page. The squirrel blew up, became super famous, the most famous squirrel, I guess. And so it is a huge following, and see the dramas and stuff. And so, and this is what the awakening is all about, and these horrible things, because it shows so much of insanity, government overstep at the extreme. So, and he started doing a whole rescue. Like, he's got 300 animals or something, and also out a raccoon, because there's a lot of people who find these animals hurt, and then they go and take them home and start taking care of them, and then the animals are just, can be domesticated just like any others. So they just become like pets. There's all sorts of, I mean, there's so many of these videos. If you go on TikTok and see, there's people that got so many different kind of animals in their house, of animals that they've rescued. And this, so what they're saying is that people started turning him in and started saying he shouldn't be allowed to have a wild animal in his home or something like that. Goddamn squirrel. And so, not just one county, 4 counties went after him. It was like the SWAT team and everything showed up at his house with warrants. And the family couldn't be in the house and stuff. They went in and they were in his house like all day long. He said they totally threw everything else out of his schedule, because he has, you know, animals he has to take care of all day long. He's got 300, so they fucked all of his day up with all these shenanigans. And they took the squirrel and the raccoon, and then he was having to go and fight to get him back. And he was fighting, I think he got a lawyer right away or whatever, and he was fighting as the squirrel is educational. And so it was going towards this one thing. They already euthanized him. So the outrage last night, it's all over the internet, was that they went in and already put the squirrel and the raccoon down for just no fucking reason. So, but this is all government overstep. This is all to get people to be outraged. I mean, I'm not saying it did happen or didn't happen. I don't know. I just know that this is what is the stuff that wakes people up. This is the stuff where people are like, fuck them. This is some bullshit. And so much corruption on the side that these people are trusting and worshiping. And it would make sense totally that this weekend would be where the money crashes, and they're sending, 457 billion over there. And so it makes sense that this would be, because it's still under that regime. So we need that to be cleared. And then he's going to come in quickly. He's already said several times, he's coming in quickly. This is going to happen fast. So those of us who are aware of what's going on, that should keep where we can keep the energy more calm, because there's going to be so much freaking out. And this is where they say light workers, starseed, all that kind of stuff, the people who are aware. But there's so many people claiming this title that have no motherfucking awareness. So, but I think you guys listening to me, you do. So when the shit goes down in the chaos, us being able to pull to center and know, like, okay, this is what we want to happen. It's going to be intense. It's going to be a lot of stress, a lot of crying, a lot of shit. But this is what we need to happen. And we take that energy and we keep it grounded and we pull it forward. So that will help the energy. It's like us taking it back, like sucking it in a direction. And so that is, part of the purpose of people being awake, especially through the staggering. But there is no other really way to have things be other than a stagger, because everything is a representation of everything else. Everything is a bleed out of everything else. So every movement forward has a bleed out. And so we are beginning to direct the things how we want, instead of being misdirected by these people. We are waking and we are directing it. So we are pulling it in the direction we want it to go. And we win. I mean, this goes down. So we pull it into freedom. We pull it into this. But so when shit starts going down, it's kind of like this transition group that they're aware. Like these people are aware of all the starseed, light worker, and the aware, the people who are here for this ascension, whatever. People like me, like you guys, like the people who have the awareness of watching what is happening, and so they know. And that's why I said that there's people out there who are looking for us. And oh yeah, I don't know if I had said this one yet. I think I started to, but I got off on a different thing. But this girl I saw yesterday, she was talking about some nightmare that she was having. And I didn't hear the whole thing. Because sometimes people are, so it was just like slow and emotional, and she was freaking. But so she was like so confused, because there was like a demon in her dream and it was following her around. And so I said a bunch of stuff to her. Well, I said one thing to her. And then she's like, oh, tell me more. And so I said a bunch of things to her. But that is the thing, is like what I've said is, when you see them looking at you, do not look back. And it's like on a whole fucking thing, because remember back when I said about the astral traveler, and I was going and listening to those videos. I was like, oh, I want to figure out how to astral travel, because I've come out of my body before, and but I can't just do it purposely right now, because I know of this other realm is not a safe realm. And so it keeps me a lot more, I feel like I'm in my safe suit. And so I don't really like to come out. But anyway, so I was listening to these people, and then he gave me a confirmation thing, because he said that he was going out and going all over the place, and he started noticing like this certain person would be where he was at all the time. And so it's when you notice them. See, it's when they are watching you for your awareness. So when you notice them, that's your trap. And then, so once that they saw that he could see them, that is when they took him into that room. And he said he had no control. And they just took him into this room. And because you're outside of your shell. And so, to me, like, this is our safe place. And so they took him into a thing and started questioning him and stuff. I don't remember the whole thing now. It was such a long time ago. But I knew that they were guarding this realm. Plus that one showed up in my fucking hall that day. And I see these things in my dreams. Not in my dreams, in my I don't know, I guess probably people call it meditation or something. When I go into a relaxed state. And lots of them. And it's weird too, because sometimes they can be just like, oh, we're just gonna sit over here and do this. And but as soon as you give them your attention, it's creepy. Just don't get focused on things you see. Focus on what it is that, you know, what you're doing or whatever, but don't start trying to interact. I think, you know, when these people say you can't ask what time it is all this weird bad stuff starts happening. I think it's more of when you start coming into realization, like, you know, there's time, there's that is the thing, because that realm is coming into this this conscious state. In that realm is a higher state of consciousness. Like, it's like you becoming more aware, you being able to do more things. And see, they want to keep us trapped into this other thing. So they watch, and then I think that they can come at you to scare you. And so that's probably why that woman thought there was a demon. I was trying to tell you, you can't look at them. You can't acknowledge them. Once they find you, once they see that you see, then they're going to follow you. They'll harass you. They will come, they can come into your house and move shit. It's like a haunting, because this is another realm. Like, people don't understand. There's other realms. You just don't have all the control in other realms. But it is, you're not your whole self in this realm. And when you come out of this realm, there's still, it's another realm, another frequency around it. And so that frequency is where, to me, it's like that's the police realm. That's where you would find like your archangels, if they're really the ones who are monitoring that space. That's where you would find all of those in this realm. And so it's the realm outside of this realm, but also it's where all of your people who are dead, who are hanging out with you, are more of like, that is more where they are. It's like a shadow behind you or something, because realms are just like a turn in the knob of the station. It's not like you're gonna go to a whole nother place. It's just like that. And then we tune into this where we can hear it, but not everything hears it the same. Because even if you go, I thought this was kind of trippy. You have to look this up, but they take different noises, like crickets or birds or frogs or whatever. They take these different things and then they speed them up and slow them down on the sounds. Just go listen to it. It's so trippy. And so it depends on your frequency, how you hear things. And so it's and it has to do with your vibration and the realms and stuff. So I don't know, my vibration had it where I could go in and out of these realms. Like, that realm was just as real as this realm. And so that is, that's where I'm saying there's a lot of us that live like that. But I think that they were looking for us ahead of time, because they didn't want there to be people who had this awareness of the spiritual thing, because that was going to spread like the 100th monkey. And even though the time, like even when, you know, we were out there trying to tell people, then we would be laughed at and, called crazy and stuff. But everything has to do with timing, and everything has to do with your own lessons too. So, oh yeah, but I want to say this thing too about with my mom. So, I don't remember what it was. Maybe I sent her something. I don't remember, but something started this conversation, and so talking. Oh yeah, okay, because it was talking about the minerals and stuff, and I was trying to think, it was something, because it was something about that, and she was saying something about her gut, and she's had so many problems with her gut. They've even done revisions on her gut. She's had so many surgeries on it, and they've taken parts out and stuff. So she's got, and to me, now knowing where I am, way back, I didn't know all of this stuff. Like, I've learned throughout, like, living. And so learning that your gut is where you hold your lower chakra, it's where you hold all your pain, your suffering, is where you push everything down. All your pain, you just keep pushing it down and pushing it down. And so many people come in with gut issues because they carry so much pain from different lives. And then in this realm too, they attack our gut. So because in your gut is where you absorb nutrition and stuff. And so there's an attack on your gut there too, which can create the distraction in the 3D, because then you start going towards the doctors to have them fix it. And instead of going towards your soul and towards your spirit, so that or your spirit guides or whatever. So then, because then when you start healing, then it starts healing your gut and releasing all of the traumas that you hold into it. And when you keep holding on to them, that's when you will start having like issues. Like, why so many women are getting hysterectomies. I had one. And see, and this is why I've learned some of this stuff. And there's meanings behind these things, like fibroids and all these different things. But it's how we go at it. And then we've been so programmed to go at it, have them solve it, go to them with our issues. And so it's all been to keep us sick. And so when you go at it to your healing, then you can really release that, and your gut will stop having so many issues. You will heal and let go of things. Oh yeah, and there was a place, let me think, okay, because this was this little Chinese lady or something. She was showing for your gut thing. And I think it was between these two fingers. And there's a spot right here. And she said, take a pen, like a ballpoint pen, but don't take something real sharp, and push in here. And she said, if you feel pain in here, then you have a lot of energy stuck in your root chakra and your sacral chakra. And that is where a lot of people are stuck, in those chakras. So right in here. And I don't know, I would think also when you're trying to release stuff, if you like massage this and you rub it, and you always use, like, set the intentions and the affirmations of love and respecting yourself. Not that you're a stupid idiot and nobody likes you. Try and change your verbiage. Try and change your narrative towards yourself. So work on that, and then you can tell yourself things while you're releasing this stuff. And so then there's also a place on the back of your foot. I don't know if I can get my foot up here like that. So it was like right back here. And she said, if you push in there and you just feel like this, like a wave going up, then you have cleared, everything is cleared. You're not holding on to. And when I pushed that, I was like, oh yeah, I do. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I was like, that's weird. And so I did it again. I was like, yeah, it just kind of feels like empty. But I have been working for years on this stuff. So it's not like, and it's not just one healing. It's not just one dark night. It's like, it's a whole way of approaching life. until you let go of all the bullshit. And so, so anyways, she was talking about her gut thing. And I was talking about the healing thing. And that your gut will start healing if you got to let go of some stuff or something. I don't remember all the ways what I was saying. It's like getting all mushed up. But I was getting to tell her about the releasing that stuff. And so it gave me in this conversation a chance to, tell her, you don't have to, because I know she holds on to pain as if she's failed me. And so I got to have that conversation with her. And so I felt like that probably was helping her release stuff, because I was like, don't hold on to, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. And, and the things that happened to me didn't beat me down. I was able to pull free from those things. I was able to pull forward. And I said, and, that's an extension of you. There's a part of you in there, because, she is a part of me. I'm a part of her. We're all a part of each other, but especially of our parents and our kids. There's a reason why sometimes you're doing something and you're like, God, I feel like my mom all of a sudden. Yeah, because we're just like this pull through. It's like taking the nucleus, the first, and then pulling and everything in between. And we are all that. And like I said, it's like this passing the baton and learning and learning and learning. And they keep us in division. And that's one thing, with these new spiritual people are really hot on the cutting people out of your life. And that's the wrong direction to go. And spiritual is, have boundaries, and but trust, like if something happens, you're prepared for it. If somebody says something rude, that you would, you won't be crushed to the bone. You'd be able to walk away or whatever. You would be able to be appropriate. And but the people don't trust themselves. They feel beat down. So they just want to cut everybody out. And I heard a guy saying this the other day. It was like, see, this is the energy of this. And he's like, yeah, have everybody noticed that everybody's cutting out the boomers out? Or nobody wants anything to do with the boomers, their parents. The problem is the boomers can't even admit when they're wrong. They just can't admit when they're wrong. It's like, you guys... Oh my God. Sometimes you can't help but laugh. It's like we have this generation right now that is like, we got fucking mass murderers out there. We got a generation that is just jacked up. And you guys are focusing on your parents. Like, well, your kids will, I guess, end up having to tell you all your mistakes. So everybody gets to see. There's no, a perfect parent. We're going to see each generation is going to have a responsibility towards something else. Why they all want to sit here and whine about, like, what happened to me? And it's like, well, guess what you did? That's going to be the pulling into center, because you got to face yourself. So you can't just sit and whine about what happened to you, and you can't just sit there and ignore what you've done. Well, I was broken. We're all broken. Guess what? Your parents were broken too. Everybody's broken. We're all out here just trying to make it work. And then when you are hateful and judgmental, then you are, down on other people. How dare you make a mistake? It's like, we're all here to make mistakes. And I tried to tell her that too. I was like, you weren't supposed to know this stuff before you knew it. You're here to make the mistakes, because that's where you learn. And so I was trying to tell her some things, and I think that I helped her to be able to see, like, you don't have to hold on to, you failed me somehow, because, I can see that everything is supposed to happen the way it happens. You're supposed to go through the things you came from. It's not a mistake that you go through things. The things make you into who you are. Without those things happening, you would never develop into the person you are. So it's a necessity. And the people who are involved, they've got to let go of their involvement and quit taking responsibility for your journey. Like, we all have to do that. You know, we're all here on our own journeys. We're all here to experience and to learn and to grow. And we just, you know, this is just this cool time because we're getting this full view. Because throughout these times, we've come into this very controlled thing. But now we are going out of that and going into a lot more open. And so it was a very, yeah, it was like a very established game, like a game board. Go on to the game board. But it's like all of a sudden now that this, us going into our own power is going to create a whole bunch of game boards. So it's no longer going to be just this one game board where we all have to fit in and be on their game board, and they're saying, no, it's getting too full. We think we're going to kill a bunch of y'all. No, there's going to be a whole bunch of game boards. And so that is going to be this big shift. And that is where humanity is going into, getting off of the one ship and going on to all our own little boats, and creating our own worlds, our own lives, our own, and then, you know, but it's not going to be just all individual. There will be people who will go in as groups, soul groups and stuff like that, and create communities, create harmonious places of existence. And so it's going to be really cool. But all these things that are happening is like the universe trying to bitch slap people to wake up, because you got work to do. You're here to change the world. And so people have just forgotten. They think like, oh, I got to keep this job. I'm going to lose this job. I'm going to lose this perfect husband that cheats on me all the time. What am I going to do? It's like the fucking standards of people about low is becoming. That is like why we're seeing so much with murderers and horrible crimes and stuff that just keep going. People have lost their minds. This is trippy. This is the thing that it was the last thing I saw before I started. I wanted to say that it was just like, what the fuck? It reminds me so much of time about, I think it was South Carolina. And so a man, a 72 or 77-year-old man, was trying to cross the road, and a car hit him. And then they didn't stop. They just kept on going. So they hit him. He went down. 3 more cars hit him. Nobody stopped. They just kept on going. And it wasn't until the 35th car. It took 35 cars to finally stop and see that there's a dead guy in the road. Because then by the time the car stopped and called the cops and stuff like that, the cops were looking at the footage. There's a store across the street, so they could see the footage. 3 different cars ran over him. And nobody, out of all those cars, nobody stopped. That's the shit from China. See, that is where they get people aren't even seeing. People are so lost in their own reality, their own, I don't know. This is what, it's going to be so trippy. When these people, like, it will be the people who will have to go through the healing and stuff like that. Once they get through that, like when this first happens, we're not going to be able to get a lot of answers. It's not going to be, I mean, there's going to be people just trying to put the pieces together. But once they've put the pieces together, then we'll be able to start seeing, like, you know, what was life like? Like, what were you seeing? And I think that is a lot of just fear. Like, they're really, really scared of Donald. They really, really believe that he is some sort of a dictator. It's like, you guys, can't you see that the dictators are trying to take him out? Like, they just can't see it. And it's so trippy. They can't see what is happening in reality. But there's a lot of people who can't see it, you know. But that's the good thing about when you can, then you have perspective. And so you can see how things are playing out. And then plus knowing about the spiritual things and the stuff about the Age of Aquarius and all that stuff. Then, like, that's when they started talking about Nisargadatta. I was like, oh, it all just fit in together. And then that's when I started seeing, oh, that's why they all keep saying he's like a saint sent from the heavens to whatever. Is because he's playing this big role in the freeing humans. But the freeing the humans is the humans have to wake up to free themselves. They can just keep you know, dropping bombs and trying to get you to wake up. And but it's, everybody has to do it for themselves, and it really has, everything has to do with the questioning reality. Why am I doing this? What am I doing? And you're seeing this happen, like it's totally happening. People are doing it. People are beginning to be like, you know, why am I doing this? I'm just a peasant, I'm a slave, I'm just do. And that, I'm so glad, God, I'll be so glad when people see through the holidays. I mean, people are already being outraged because they're going shopping and they're already playing Christmas music. They were putting up Christmas trees before Halloween and stuff because they're just rushing us through this stuff because it's all about them just making money off of us and distracting us. And of course, they're going to keep us distracted through this stuff. I mean, they're trying to cheat hard on here. They're trying to, you know, take over our lives for as long as they can. And it's frustrating when you can see it. It's frustrating when you know what they're doing. But then you got to see, when you can know what they're doing, you got to see, well, there's another counterbalance. There's another side that is coming in hard. And that one is trying to flip these ones shit. And flipping these ones shit is what is like knocking the walls down off the lab and letting us free. So, and there's a lot of us sitting here, you know, in our cages looking and watching it. And there's other ones that don't even know anything's going on. That's why it's going to be such a shock factor. And I don't know how it's going to hit. Like, there's some of these things, when you hear these, the TDS is so extreme. And so I don't know how they're going to play this out. I can't. I mean, I would think if they all of a sudden, oh, Donald won, you know, that would, these people will lose their goddamn minds. And they keep saying, I can't even tell, really, when I keep hearing these people say, I think both sides are saying, if that other person, that just expect it's going to be a problem. So see, they have to show these other side as the severe criminals. And there's, and I think he's also showing, it's not just this side. He's not even taking this other people. He's like, I'll put together my own group, and I'm not even taking any of your money. I'm going to pay him myself. So his transition team is, he's funding it himself. He's the one who's doing this because it's showing. He's like, we're getting rid of all of it. It's not, we're just all going to become red. No, it's all going. It's a whole new movement. And this is the movement of the people. This is what the people want. The people want freedom. The people want, and we deserve it. It's our birthright. The resources and stuff. We're birthed here for the things that are here. They try and make us, you know, pay the toll and to cross the bridge. And we've done it because we were scared. But now it's time to be like, fuck you, troll. Fuck you. Time's up. Times are changing. And this is, and that's what we're going through, is this big transition, this big change. But it has so much to do with that, you know, I'm not going to be bullied by you anymore. And what they have done, you know, they've done it, what is that word? Masterfully, is the ability to get us to police one another. Like, you know, when you're talking crazy stuff, you know, because I've done it for years. And, you know, you have a whole group come at you. You know, you're crazy. And that stuff's not true. And so they were able to create that, instead of it ever being like, you know, somebody says something crazy and people go, oh, what do you know? How did you know about that? Tell me more. I've never heard of that. You know, people were never open. People were so closed off. And it was always, the weapon was, you know, you're crazy, you're stupid. Like, if you talk outside of the narrative, if you look outside of the box, if you peek out the windows of the dollhouse and say, hey, there's a yard out here, then you're crazy. You know, this is all we have. This is reality. And, you know, and the Truman Show popping in my head because it's so true. It is the Truman Show. We're all having the Truman Show. We're all having to be Truman and wake up to reality and make choice. Just like when he was, you know, when he had the choice and Ed Harris was begging him to stay. And even though he didn't know what was outside of the door, he wanted to go and see. He just wanted to see, what's out there. And that is what, we all have to be willing to go through the door when you can't see. And that is that trust, that leaning into your soul, into your other flight pattern, into the one that is beneficial to you, not the one that you're trying to put together to create this persona in this three-dimensional world. So you're busily trying to, create, make what you want to happen because you think that you know what's supposed to happen. And then, but when you go into your trusting your higher self and your spirit team or whatever you want to think, is that then you see, oh, you guys already made the party. You guys already did all this. I'm now deciding that your party is not good enough. I'm going to go create my own party. I'm going to invite these other people. When you guys already had a list of people that were going to bring me information, that were going to bring certain things to me, but I don't want to go in that direction because I think I know what's best. I think I want to be involved with these people. And so then we go and we get ourselves involved with those people, and then we see like, oh, this is horrible. And there's so many things where I see like the crossroads and the choices that I made and the desires or the indication or the draw towards what it was. Because you're always going to be drawn where you're supposed to go, because the lessons are supposed to be there. You're not going in the wrong direction. You're always going where you're supposed to go. You don't have a choice. And you're always going to figure it out when you figure it out. So you'll always put yourself where in the other lane when you figure it out. And that is what this awakening all has to do with. It's like everybody changing lanes. It's everybody was on the path of trying to create the perfect human, the perfect person, the one that everybody loved or something. And so everybody was on this direction of trying to be something, but that was ignoring the flight plan that you came in, that was here for you. And it's a big jump when you go over to the one, because you have to trust, you have to be in communication, because it is very much like things happen. It's like, okay, so is this a sign? What am I supposed to be doing here? Am I supposed to be going this way? What are you trying to tell me? So there's just always this communication. It's not like, because there's the challenges. This is like a video game. So there's challenges, and then the tools that you have is your communication and your development of your communication to give you direction. And a lot of times the direction is peace of mind. It's like, okay, I'm going in the right direction. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Just relax, and don't try and force things. It's like trying to, learn to, it's weird because it's like going off of autopilot. Because on the other flight plan, that is when they're on autopilot. And it's weird because it's like you come over to the other one and it is that you want to relax and let shit happen, but you don't want to be on autopilot. But everything is this fine line of gray. So it depends on how you express in there. So if you were to be in the relax, the let go, let God, just let things flow, just go with the flow. And but the difference being is when you're on the autopilot, see, you're very it's everything from your pain and your suffering is just in protection mode. It's like, oh, that's why we have so much autoimmune, so much overreaction of our bodies, because there is overreaction of our emotional, and when we find peace, when we find balance, so when we pull it all together, because your emotions and your spirituality are very much intertwined. And so so that's why it has so much to do with finding your peace of mind, your balance, and directing your energy in the directions that you want to take and stuff. But see, when you say directing your energy, that is different than like going and saying, well, I'm going to be a millionaire so I can have a lot of money and buy a lot of things. And then that is, it's like a different dependency on, it's just a different way of existing. Then when you pull out of that and you're like, I'm trying to force something. When you notice when you're trying to force something, when you're trying, and one thing you can notice when you're trying to force something is it means a lot to you. It drive you crazy. Like, I got to do this. I got to get this done. So that is, but your lessons are all there. Your lessons are behind us. So you're going to have that push to push you into where it is you're supposed to go. But, it's when you get on the other one, it is, it's like directing the energy. Like, and that is more of like something happens. Man, see, this stuff is hard to explain because you got to explain both sides of everything. This is why people have got to get you got to get into tune with your own guidance, because there's so much gray, there's so much vagueness that you have to, there's clarity, because there's reasons why things are the way they are, and it could have a significance to what it is you are supposed to be learning or acknowledging. And we don't all have the same ones. We don't all have the same things that we're here learning. And so some of them are overall, as there is like templates. It's like templates that we come into. And so I swear it's like these templates of scenarios, and then it's kind of like what you do with it, how you decorate. It's like we all get this house, and then it's like how we decorate it. That's what is the representation of self to the universe. So it's how you play it out, how you play the game, the choices you make, how you react or don't react to things. And it's all a development. And so, when you're on the darker timeline, the one that's forced, and you'll feel beat down because you're working against the universe, and you'll feel beat down, and see this spiritual community's solution is to control the universe, to control the energy, and and that to me is like back, a long time ago, when like Zeus and all these different gods and goddesses were trying to learn about, how to be in harmony with the universe and how to fight against it. And so that to me is what these people are doing, is like, it's the same kind of thing. It's like God's thinking that they can control it, which to me is, I don't know, it's the ignorance, because that is, you can't control the universe. The universe isn't dependent on you telling it what to do today. And so but there's an energy of the universe, and there's different slates of energy. So that's where you find different frequencies. And it is like, yeah, it's kind of like in the imagery of us being, souls up in wherever, because we can create whatever it is we want to live in. So up in the heavens, whatever, probably looks a lot like here. And so, we're going around. What are we going to do today? Well, I heard there's some caves, and those caves we'll go down here and go down there, and we can get to these caves and go into these caves. This is like going into the caves. It's like we're going into, to explore, to see what's in there. And knowing that we're always safe, because we are, we're not really, it's like it's totally like these virtual reality glasses of putting yourself into this picture. But we can put ourselves into the picture enough that we can create a person that other people can witness. So, I mean, the universe is watching the creation of experience. And so, it's I don't know, I don't know, it's beyond imagination. It's, it's beyond imagination. I don't know, it's beyond our abilities of what we can comprehend, you know. But anyways, yeah, we're not fully here. It's like we are putting ourselves in there. It's like, kind of like, how you can sit here and then you can start imagining yourself up in the corner. And then once you imagine yourself up in the corner, then start going into that person and looking at yourself. Just like how that Simpsons meme was, how she was looking in the window, watching herself on the couch, watching. That's what it is. It's this, and then it becomes more of the awareness of who's watching you. Once you have the awareness of who's watching you, then you can communicate with them. Because once they are watching you, then they are ahead of you. So you can say, well, what's up ahead? And so that's your connection. And that's it's like your safety or something. It's like, your feeling safety, like the same thing as what religion was supposed to represent, of giving people that safety of, like, existence or something. So when you connect into the real thing, you do get that feeling of everything's okay, everything's fine, it's nothing to worry about. It's scary to think about dying. Yeah, it's scary. Because it's always like, oh, is it going to hurt? What's it going to feel like? But, I mean, can we even remember what being birthed felt like? Like, it probably wasn't so fun. We all come out crying. So, I think it's kind of like the same thing. It's just the transition of leaving this space. So, but as soon as you are out, you don't feel anything. Because your light body doesn't have feelings. Only this density body does. And so that is what, it's the creation of a human, is to go in and experience what is a human. What is a human is somebody who has feelings, somebody who has connections and these different things. So we go in to see, but really we develop it. We don't become it. There's a lot of people who think that they're human, but you develop it. It becomes developed through the soul. The human's not developing itself. It's the soul coming into the human. And then the soul coming into the human, remembering itself, remembering its purpose and what it's doing. Because there is like a shift. Because there was a point in time when we were coming into incarnations of experience, and it was developing us. And we were becoming more. And then now it is like humans have developed, but it's not humans. Humans aren't a thing by themselves. Like, that's why when the soul goes out, the human body disintegrates or falls over. It doesn't keep going when the soul goes out. Like, and there's these theories of other souls going in and taking over bodies, but it's got to be a pretty strong soul. Like, how are you going to, even if you can step in, it still would be a lot of energy to put out, to carry around some dead body. And you can't go into it without being birthed into it. And so, that's where they come up with the people who, they're like zombies. They don't move the same. They don't act the same. Because they're not the same living soul. So that is, I think in Haiti, the voodoo and the zombie thing is so big. I bet you that there's a lot of, like, you're walking around and there's just zombies. But it's kind of like, because the people who, the vamps and stuff like that know about the zombies and stuff. And it's like that's what they're trying to create in the humans. They're trying to make these zombie people so that they can just control them. So, but everything is, about us waking up and seeing and realizing. It's not humans that are evolving, it's us. And we are taking humanity in a direction. And it's not just one group. It's not just like the Palladians did this. It's not just like the Lyrians did this. Or the Syrian, no, it's all different souls from all different places came in to go through all these experiences to move humans, mankind, into this other realm where it is kind of like, you know, like we get to stay being human. If we want to stay being human, we got to stay being human. There's going to be people who are going to leave because they don't really want to stay being human. But they can also come in different, you know, there's going to be some cool shit, I think, ahead. But it isn't humans. Like, that is, I mean, humans are, they are a container. It would be like us saying, you know, I'm seeing those things that they transport all the kids in there on the news all the time. But it would be like, you know, I mean, it's a container. And so it'd be like saying, well, the containers have their own lives, their own existence now. It's like, but they're given an existence by what's inside of them. So, anyways, but to me, this is all of this transition away from flesh and blood, away from this idea that you're a human. You're not a human. You are playing the part of a human. You are giving what a human is. You are giving it a definition. You are creating what a human is and where a human's at and what a human has become. That is what we are creating. And then we get to stay in the human experience for as long as we want once this transition happens. But you aren't a human. I don't think anybody's a human. We're all souls. Everything is souls. Even the Dracos or whatever, all these different ones, I think, you know, they went into, and then they've stayed whatever, or they represent themselves. Like, I'm not really sure. That's something that's always kind of trippy. Like, I know the ones when you go up in the light, like the Pleiadians, and so I think a lot of them, you will see them as light beings, or you'll be able to see how they represent themselves and stuff. But it's on different densities, so something can hold. I don't think people are like fading in and out and stuff. I think they hold their density, but I also think it's more ghost apparition, like compared to what we think of here. But it's not gonna feel like that, I don't think. Like, I don't know how much sensation and stuff that we lose through this. That's, you know, kind of my question. Are we going to still be able to feel? Like, is sex still going to be a thing? You know, like, I don't know, because it's supposedly not for some of these other light beings. So, but anyways, so whatever, the humans, the humanoids, whatever you want to, and humanoids are in other beings too. And so that's, you know, probably why they created humanoids here, was because it was something that was in other places. I just don't know in this density, you know, like the Dracos and stuff like that, because in the dark realms, that these are the masters of the realm or something. And it is like we're going into their realm to fuck with them. They can't get into ours. You know, they can't get into the light. They are trapped by the dark. You have to go through, you know, I don't know, like an evolving, releasing. You got, like, they'd have to release all their darkness. And so that would be a lot of darkness. But any soul could do it. But anyways, we have to have the dark to know that there's light. But anyways, they can't come into the light. They can try and spread the dark, but they can't come into the light. But we can leave the light and we can come into the dark. And so we are really the ones coming into their things, like, try and catch me, fuck you. And so that is part of the game and the challenge. And right now, like, for a long time, it would appear that they were winning because they had us so trapped in our minds. But, you know, we end up the victor, because we are the ones who come out on top. You know, we wake up, we remember who we are, we start directing our energy, we start the desires that we desire start leading us into better things, and the connection into your better timeline, the one that's set up for you, you know, that is going to feel better than trying to struggle through the one that they try and direct you towards your success. And so many people too are so burdened by school loans. Like, there's so much stuff that was just drowning people more and more and more and more and more. And there's so many people who are just drowning in debt. They're overwhelmed. Like, they don't even want to be alive, and that's not what life is all about. But there's lessons in that, so those were the lessons that we came in to learn, so that's what life was about in those lessons. But now it's a shift. So it's a big shift to go into this other. So anyways, but that is what all of this shifting is about, all these people, and how many people who don't see it, because there's tons of people who are religious who don't see it. I was trying to talk to my mom on a, you know, in a way that she would get it, because it is the same kind of ways of looking at things. It's just that they've misled people with their God that they created. And the sad thing is the people who are worshiping this God, they haven't all caught on yet that the God that they created for you is really a dick. It's not really. He's very divisive. He's very hierarchy. And that brought that out in people. But those are things that those people need to heal, because that's why it got brought out in them, so that they would be able to see it clearly. And so that's what it's going to be. So many people are going to see things clearly about themselves when the lights come on, but it's going to be painful to them. It's going to hurt. It's going to be like, you know, everyone wants to think of themselves as being a better person. Like I said, like when I started realizing like this side of me where I lived this life where I was a good person. I was such a good person. Everybody loved me. And then you get into this one and people don't like you. And it's like, well, wait a minute. I'm a good person. What's wrong with you guys? I'm a good person. What's happening here? But it's because you have other lessons, other things to learn. And you want to lean on that hip like, yeah, but you guys are assholes. I'm a good person. And then, but see, that becomes crippling. You have to pull center. Everything is about pulling center, about finding your peace, about being equal and not being leaning way in this way or leaning way in that way. And that is why we're seeing this is a lean in, whether they're leaning red or they're leaning blue, they're leaning progress, they're leaning rules, or leaning whatever. It's this leaning in. And they, you know, they have everybody so trapped in this, like, well, it's a gift. It's a gift from God. God, you're so lucky. It's really a lucky thing. It's like, you guys, no, it's not. That's they're fucking trying to trap you into, trying to get you to be like, yeah, just pick one of us. We'll tell you what to do. Just pick one of us right here, one of us. And so it's, you know, that's right there is where you're giving over your sovereignty. You're giving over your everything, because they've turned this place into a fucking propaganda shit show and got people completely insane. People are not anything like their soul. That's going to be the hard part, is when people start having to face their soul and they start seeing the way that they've hid themselves and camouflaged themselves and their anger and their bitterness, and then they got to face these other sides of themselves of, you know, because you've also been an asshole, like, you know, when you think like, oh, these narcissists and I'm such a good person, well, you've also been the narcissist when they've been the good person. We all just switch roles. You play the villain, you play the victim, you play it all, because you want to get the feeling, the view, the perspective of all roles. How does this happen? How does this happen? How does this happen? How does this happen? And we are the holders. We're the carriers of that information. And so we have great value to the universe. That's what I would say. We are, however you want to look at us, I just call us souls. We are whatever energy that we have. It is like the holders of information, just like water holds information, the Nephilim holds information. There's all the information, but we also are holders of information. Oh yeah, and that one day where I was going to say about the key, as I had heard somebody saying about the key holders one time, And I was like, okay, this is just another one of these things of the chosen, we're better than everybody. But then I found myself talking to somebody one day, and I was telling them something that they didn't know. And I was like, oh, I hold the key of an information. So it is the key of information. It's holding this information that can help. And so it's a key to living better. It's a way to live better. So anyways, then I could see like, oh, okay, I get now what the key holder. Key holder is somebody who holds information that is valuable to the other people. Because when the other people learn it and know it and remember it, then it gives them a step up in the game. It gives them another advancement. And so, and there's lots of key holders, like, and to me, like, I know my stuff, but I don't know everybody else's stuff. And I don't even go in and listen to a bunch of different people's stuff because it only interferes with my stuff. And so, and I'll try sometimes to listen, but right away it starts, I got to stay, I was more open to a lot of different things back in 26. Now it's a lot more, I don't know, like a kind of like I was being shown the things so I would know the things or understand them. But now it's more like I feel like I'm more of a megaphone. I'm just here speaking out against a certain energy and trying to get people to see in this other way. And it's all about timing too. It's like, because all the people were so closed off and lost for so long, but now people are opening up. They're opening their minds. They're searching. They're looking. They're wanting answers. They're wanting to figure out what the hell's going on. And so there's a lot of key holders, a lot of people who have, you guys could be key holders. Like if you find yourself giving someone information and they don't know anything about it, then you can probably figure like, oh, I hold a key. I have information that people need. And so, and there probably is going to be a lot more people who are, listening to people now that are going to start stepping into roles of helping people. Like, and, there's going to be a big flip. And it's going to be, everybody's going to go where they need to go, kind of. And so it will happen naturally. It's not something you need to force, but you just got to go with the flow. If all of a sudden you see yourself and people are wanting you to come and speak or something, and you're like, fuck, I can't do that. That's where you got to go into that timeline. I can do this. This is what I'm here for. I got to trust. I'm here for this. I can do this. And it's going to, no, things aren't going to just be easy. Things are going to be challenging, but that's the exciting part. Because when you challenge yourself, you're growing. You're becoming more than you were, last week. So, keep challenging yourself. Keep pushing yourself forward. Keep asking yourself questions. Keep being weird and crazy. Keep trying to discover yourself and who you are and what you're all about. And then live your truth. And that's a challenge. Is you're going to have to, the challenges will come and you'll feel like, oh, these people are trying to bring me down and stuff. And it's like, the universe is just challenging you. It's like, you think you're doing good, but how's this? You think you're doing good, how's this? And so, when you don't get beat down by the challenges, just see, because when I was having them, I was like, what the fuck is going on, man? And then I started, oh, boundaries, like I thought I had solved that, but no, they just get it harder and harder and harder. Like, fuck, yeah, it is hard to have boundaries against somebody who's struggling, and it's hard to have so everything is your challenges in order for you to grow. So don't get beat down like, God, I'm getting mad and I shouldn't even be around that person, they always make me so mad. And it's like, then start looking at like, why do they make me mad? And it can be very well that they killed you in another life. Like, all of a sudden it's like, I swear to God, I know you killed me one time. But if that's the case, then you probably killed them too. So don't get all down on them. Like, oh, you big murderer. No, you got to be like, we've had some tension throughout the times. Like, let's try and, I don't know, part as friends, or, because everything is about forgiveness. You don't want to be like cutting people out of your life and carrying them like a fucking asshole. I'm never talking to them again. You're carrying all that energy. It's going to hold you down. I'm going to hold them down. They can heal it. You're holding yourself down. So that is the part of forgiveness and letting go of shit. And then, you know, you're going to go around being pissed off. I'm never talking to them again. You can't just go and say, I'm never talking to somebody again and not give them any of your energy. You have to keep it going. And what is so trippy, because this is how people who don't talk to me, is like when you start realizing like, oh, they're holding on to this old version of you. They're not even in the current. So they're holding themselves in the past. And then they've got enablers around them, keeping them in the past. It's like it's the strangest thing. And so, but those are those people's challenges, and, you know, for them to all heal. Everybody's got healing to do. And then a lot of people don't face it. They just think, cut them out. I don't want to feel bad. I'm just going to go out and drink with my friends. Everybody's just been going in the wrong directions. Everybody's been heading off the cliff for a long time. And that is why it's kind of like the universe has sped it up. Like, you want to go off the cliff? Let's see how far. But, you know, it's definitely going to be a bounce house kind of cliff that we're going to go off of, because we're going to go, but we're going to bounce right back up. And that's going to be the, what the fuck is happening here? Where people are going to freak the fuck out. And when it goes down, it's also going to be a big, oh my God. Like, people are going to see themselves in a whole new light. So just remember, while you're going through all this, what you're really doing here is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So I'll talk to you tomorrow if the powers that be allow it. So talk to you later. Bye.